What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I want to be going over a couple different things. So, Kay Adams was over at Jets training camp yesterday, and we got some stellar quotes from Aaron Rodgers, CJ Mosley, and Garrett Wilson that I want to get into. And in particular, Aaron Rodgers heating up and the importance of the Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson connection.
This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Guys, we're talking Aaron Rodgers on this episode, so figured that we'd take a look over on BetUS and see an Aaron Rodgers prop. Rodgers to throw 30-plus touchdowns this year is plus 160. If you don't know what that means, it means bet $100 to win 160. If he's healthy and plays a full season, I think he hits that number. If you do as well, sign up using my link and get in on the action over at BetUS. 125% match deposit bonus on your first 3 deposits. New users, sign up using my link and get in on the fun. As I mentioned, Kay Adams' show, Up in Adams, was at Jets camp yesterday, and we got some really great quotes. The first was CJ Mosley. She asks if Aaron Rodgers is pissing off the defense a little bit. CJ Mosley spoke about the competition between the offense and the defense.
I saw him score a couple touchdowns. Did he piss off the defense today a little bit?
I think overall, anytime, the offense scores on us, especially the red zone, we hold a lot of pride on keeping, the offense out of the end zone, especially running the ball. So just got to, go get back in the film room, see how we can, play better because, what better quarterback to go up against than Aaron.
Well, yesterday at camp, it seemed like, Rodgers was pissing off the defense a little bit. You want to know why? He threw 6 touchdown passes in the red zone. 6 on the entire season last year. Zach Wilson had 8 red zone passing touchdowns, and the Jets as a team had 11 red zone passing 11 passing touchdowns in general. Aaron Rodgers had essentially half of that in one practice. Again, I understand it's practice versus game. That's obviously going to be very different. Moral of the story, you're allowed to get excited about Aaron Rodgers being this quarterback because you are going from a historically bad quarterback room to one of the best quarterbacks to play of all time. I get it. He's 40 years old. I'm not saying you're going to get prime, 2011 Aaron Rodgers or hell, even 2020 or 2021 Aaron Rodgers, but the upgrade could not be stressed enough. Even if you go from having, anywhere between the 35 and 50th best quarterback playing for you last year, and if all goes well for Rodgers, maybe a top 12 quarterback at the position. Going from QB 40 to QB 8 is a massive upgrade for this team. Garrett Wilson was asked about going into year 3, and I absolutely loved his answer.
I mean, y'all can expect me to be the best teammate, whether that means catching 20 balls in a game or 2 balls, springing Brees free on a run to win the game, whatever it may be, because ultimately we all have the same goal, and that's a Super Bowl. I feel like I'm confident in the fact that if we go about things the right way and we win games, we learn how to, acquire the skill of winning games and can, string it together. Everything will take shape. Everything will take care of itself. I'm blessed to be here in this situation and have a quarterback like we have to where I can play football as free as I've ever played, and it truly feels like I'm a kid out there playing again. So with that, I'm confident that if we take care of business and do what we're supposed to do, the rest of it will take care of itself. But this year, in year 3 for me, I'm really worried about how do we get to the playoffs, and once we get there, how do we take that next step?
Said it before, I'll say it again. I love this kid. I think he is, 1, extremely talented, and 2, has the right mindset and attitude off the field. I love that for him going into this year. Very high hopes and expectations for the 2024 New York Jets, but that's the kind of guy that he is. He doesn't take losing well. And yes, despite having personal success in his first 2 years, he talked about how hard it's been making the transition into the NFL because of the amount of losing that's happened. So yeah, he's been a great player, is setting himself up for a very nice payday, but he also wants to win football games, and hopefully this is the year where the Jets can finally start converting and winning some freaking football games. That sounds nice to me. How about you? Getting into the portion of the video of the Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers relationship. Garrett Wilson, was asked about how Aaron Rodgers motivates him. Here's what he has to say.
How does Garrett Wilson like being motivated, and does Aaron do that?
Yeah. You could have the best day of practice you ever had as far as stats, right? Or you could have 3-4 touchdowns on the day, not miss a target thrown your way, which is always kind of how a receiver grades himself. Like, did I finish the play? When I was targeted, did I make the catch, right? You could have a perfect, flawless day, but Aaron's the type of guy where it's always detail-oriented, because you're going to meet that one, meet your match one time, and then it's going to be that much more important that you're on your details. So he doesn't let me slide on any of that, which I appreciate him for. And just the greatness of him and how he goes about his routine in year 20, you would think he would maybe slack on it because he's been doing it for 20 years. But
crazy.
He's taken that much more emphasis in being detailed, and that's inspiring. That's inspiring.
This goes back to those conversations that we saw be a little animated. I don't want to use the word heated, because heated has a negative connotation, like they were arguing or mad at each other. An animated conversation, I think, is a better way to word it, because yes, they are using their hands and maybe raising their voice, but I think it's, again, comes from a place of passion, and both guys want to be at the highest of high levels for this, one, just in general for how they play, but two, for this football team. I was really impressed to hear Garrett Wilson talk at training camp when he was signing for people. He was right over by me and he was saying, like, we owe you guys, like the meaning the fans. And it's really rare to have a player with that mindset. Sure, guys come over and sign and are really nice and respectful and, great people, which is awesome. But Garrett, we have to do better for you guys, is really refreshing to hear. And I'm excited for him in year 3, and really damn excited for the Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers connection. Aaron Rodgers discussed the relationship that he has with Garrett Wilson, and again, nothing to worry about with their exchanges.
The headlines are saying words like fuming Aaron Rodgers. You're out there with like whoopee cushions and like rubber chickens doing like pranks and doing the Ric Flair walk. What gives?
You saw the Ric Flair walk? Mm-hmm. Yes. Nobody even knows what that is. It's a lot of bullshit. You know that. Come on. There's always stories to be made up. Listen, I also, and I talked to G about this. There's appearance and there's the reality. What it appears to be can be taken, you can run with it. The reality was, you can't really tell, because I watched the video. Like the second conversation, we're kind of laughing at each other. I'm teasing him. He's like, kind of like the little brother's getting teased, and then he kind of snaps back, and then I tease him back. So it's a whole lot of nothing in the end. There are good conversations that we have when the fans or the media is not zooming in on us. But, he's a passionate guy. I'm a passionate guy. But a lot of that stuff is literally not what the reality is. Actually, the appearance doesn't even really match what was said out there, I think, to a lot of extent, because if you look at our faces, you can kind of see in the second video, I'm laughing at him.
In a shocking turn of events, things seem to be a little taken out of context or blown up out of proportion with how Aaron Rodgers is covered. Color me surprised on that one, but that's kind of just what I wanted to come on and discuss today. We don't have Robert Saleh speaking later today, so figured I'd come out and do a video early on some of these Up and Adams quotes, because again, there were some good ones from yesterday. So if you're new to the show, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like before you get out of here, share with a friend, and I'll catch you next time.